effective strategies to like manage cash better in these situations when you get a cash deposit. I'm very unfamiliar here. So like things that come to my mind are just having an income account that is for deposits at your bank, where deposits just go in there first and they don't go into your actual just checking
Mm-hmm.
account where you see this big number and you think we can, well, we can use it. And then slowly moving it from that deposits account as needed over to my checking or expense account, whatever you have. But any other strategies, maybe that's a terrible idea. Anything that you've seen work for people?
I'll start, and then Martin, I want to hear your thoughts too. Um, yeah, I think you can certainly do that. I think that if you're closing your books every month, if you're managing your financials in an appropriate way, you shouldn't have to set up a separate account to be able to track that. So if you have good financials that you can trust and you have visibility, you have a good understanding of where your business is at that point in time. So that's the first item. The second is managing cash flow, and cash flow forecasting is done outside of your basic financial statements. So you have your balance sheet and your income statement, what we talked about, but you have, we have to be able to look into the future and understand what are our cash flows of our business. There's some cash flow tools out there. A lot of companies, most companies, especially in the smaller industry, will do it in Excel. I'd be happy to provide you with just a standard template that you can pass on to your listeners. But
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
please do.
please do.
idea is to be able to see at a minimum uh, 3 months in advance. We call it a 13-week cash flow. Beyond that, you're starting to guess a little bit, and you're not quite sure kind of how things are going to pan out. But if you're updating your cash flow forecast every week, and you're always looking forward 13 weeks or 1/4 of the year, basically, then you should have enough visibility to react to what changes may be happening in your business. And so those things need to be taken into consideration. You received a customer deposit. Okay, well, we have that. We know we're going to incur those costs in 3 weeks over here. So let's make sure we account for that in our cash flow forecast in that column 3 weeks in advance from now, so that we know, okay, we got this cash now. We know it's coming out in 3 weeks. We know what our balance should be at that point in time. Obviously, there's a lot of inflows and outflows, but based on invoicing, the timing of collections, you should have a good idea of what your industry is like in collections. In construction, it's unfortunately it's unlike most other industries where in construction, nobody gets paid until the person before them gets paid, right? It's like, well, I'll pay you when I get paid, right? And that's seems to be the rule of thumb in construction, and no other business is really like that. But it certainly helps businesses manage their cash better when they owe, but it's difficult when you have to wait 90 days to receive your invoicing. But being able to manage that and understand that timing is critical. And if you can see that into the future, you should be able to have an understanding of the inflows and the outflows of your jobs and the expectations of what your work is going to be performed, to be able to really see and visualize what that is, and ultimately make good decisions.
Yeah, the only thing I would add to that is, 13-week look ahead cash flows. They're always really hard uh, because you're projecting, I'm going to
Mhm.
receive this, I'm going to receive this, my payroll is going to be that. And some things like the phone bill and the rent are easy, but it's always hard. But the exercise of doing it causes you to think differently, causes you to develop instincts that, not going to do that. I do have some cash, but there's a stress here. So it's an exercise
Mhm.
worth undertaking. And another place that I like to see people is they understand their current assets as a percentage of sales, inventory, which you can't do if you put your deposits in sales, but current assets as meaning your receivables and your inventory as a percentage of your sales. There's some sophisticated things you can do, but there's some pretty
Mhm.
simple things. Just
Yeah.
look at it and say, my month sales always wind up. So if you're going to increase your sales by 100%, you're going to have twice as much cash to finance your accounts
Mhm.
receivables or your inventory. Might be able to improve it, but that's the way to
Yeah.
plan. So,
Yeah. If your
no, go
terms on
ahead.
your accounts receivable are 90 days, um, that means that when you invoice, you're not going to receive that cash for 90 days. You're going to show revenue, um, But to Martin's point, as you grow your business, you have to be able to fund that growth. And so understanding the collection process and understanding how to fund that growth. A lot of companies, that's their biggest challenge when they grow is running out of cash, because it's all hung up in AR or inventory, as Martin mentioned, and it's not in cash. Even though you're experiencing a lot of success and growth, you're in a cash crunch. And that's where having good financials in it, and you are growing, you have opportunities, even through banking relationships, through outside parties. If you have good financials, you can show that trend of growth, much more likely to get that outside financing to help you finance that growth if you need it. That being said, if you manage your finances effectively, you can you can get pretty far without outside financing as well.
Yeah. I want to say one thing real quickly. Statement of cash flows is an obscure report. Most people have never heard of it. Once you get that and take I've got a whole section on it in my book, hopefully makes it easy to understand. Once you have that, it tells you exactly where every penny of your cash went. And once you know that, you can do something about it.
And I want to make sure that we're not confusing. A statement of cash flow and a cash flow forecast are two different things. Statement of cash flow tells you where your cash went historically. And a cash forecast is looking into the future. But you can leverage that statement of cash flow to help you understand where your cash might be going in the future as well. But yeah, so they're two very powerful tools that are the statement of cash flow, as you mentioned, Warren, it can be very confusing to clearly understand. The cash flow forecast should be is very clear. Okay, I got money coming in this week. I got money going out this week. I got money coming in, got money going out. And so it really helps you, if anything, to really understand your business in that level.